they're just like the police too. I don't fuck with them. And then, before I get to talking about the police, any cops in here tonight? I know pork when I smell it. Yeah, I'm throwing shots. Since Obama got out of office, shit, they ain't killed no niggas, huh? Y'all ain't noticed that? Ain't nobody died yet. Bitch, I know one thing. I get pulled over, I'm playing dead. He tried to fool me, walk up to the window and shit, knocking on the window. I'm like, bitch, I'm gone. Should have called me 5 minutes ago.
If your transmission got you down, you know it's all apart. Every time they go to the thunderbolt, you still believe in that. I'm passing it over. And everything I guarantee you to. We put the back in there. Exactly what we did.
Robin Bertrand here at the Houston Improv for All Men on Pause, and I am here and so humbled to be interviewing the one and only Miss Liz Fablos, all the way from New York City. How are you tonight?
Baby, I'm doing really good.
You're looking good.
Thank you, love. Thank you. I feel good. I just got off stage. The energy is still pumping through my veins. This is always the best show. I love doing Men All Pause.
It's all about the women tonight. If you guys aren't able to be here tonight, you are missing a fantastic show tonight. So I was thinking today, for all of you that don't know, Liz is like a really wonderful blessing and sister to me, and just watching her on the Catholic News Network and doing her work, following the Pope around during the day, and then at nighttime she turns into this amazing comedian that tears up the stage. I call you disaster relief.
Okay, I'll take it.
For a couple of reasons. You always are doing these amazing stories and doing, you know, these amazing pieces about the world and what's happening, and then it's like you bring this breath of fresh air with your personality and your relief on stage, and, you know, with all that you do. How do you transfer back and forth from the Catholic News Network to the Haitian Liz Fablos?
You know, I get that all the time, and as I tell everybody, it's not mutually exclusive. It's all part of the same personality. I want to inform, I want to entertain, and I want to engage. So whether I'm making you think or I'm making you laugh, it all comes from the same space, and it all comes from God. And I feel like it's a blessing that I'm able to do both, even though they're in different parts of my life, in different forms, different stages, but it's all for the same message. Let's get people happy. Let's get people thinking. Let's get people living their truth.
Right.
Yes.
And let's talk about that. This is one of your statements. I've been seeing this a lot on Facebook. I've been seeing it everywhere. Talk a little bit about your hashtag Live Your Truth.
Hashtag Live Your Truth. You know, people are so enamored by the things that they see on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And I'm not disparaging those social media sites, but I want to encourage especially young women to have their own voice. To have their own characteristic, to have their own goals, to live their truth. They don't have to follow the crowd. They don't have to look at what's happening on Facebook and think that that's what they're supposed to be doing. Absolutely. They are what they're supposed to be doing, and they should set the bar and raise the bar, become the bar. So that's Live Your Truth for me, and I really hope that that message can get out.
Yes. And one of the things that's so exciting about you is seeing you live out your truth. Everything that just happened with Haiti, that's your home. You know, that's where your family is from. That's very important for you. You going out there and doing so much for that community. Tell me a little bit about that process and how you've been able to be an instrument to them and live your truth by helping them.
Well, I'm part of this great organization called From Here to Haiti. And what they do is they actually go to these very troubled areas of the country, very remote areas, and they rebuild the churches and they rebuild the schools, because these are places where people can gather. So even if homes are destroyed, they at least have that place of worship. They have somewhere where there's a roof over their head where they can wait it out until their homes get fixed. You know, and I've seen them do the work. I've been with them as they do the work. They incorporate people from the community. So it gives the people a sense of hope and responsibility because they've helped rebuild a part of their country. You know, and the Haitian people are just so proud. They don't like that they have to be so, you know, they have to helpless. You know, they have to have the people come in and help them. They understand that it has to be that way, but they would so much more prefer to do it for themselves. You know, first independent African-American nation in the Caribbean, we wear that as a badge of honor, and we want to get that back. And From Here to Haiti is an organization that gives them, even if it's in a little bit, even if it's in little pieces, it's something that lets them know, you know, we can rebuild for ourselves, and we will.
And where can we go to find out more information about this organization, about this program?
Go to my Facebook page. I'm always posting about them, but there's FromHereToHaiti.org. You can donate there. We're having a fantastic gala. It's in New York. Everybody's welcome. Come on, H-Town. You know I love you. But all proceeds, every single bit of the proceeds go to From Here to Haiti. Even when we travel there, we pay our own expenses. None of the money that's ever contributed is used to pay people to help or pay people to travel, because that's the big problem in Haiti now, is all these monies are going to the NGOs. They're paying salaries, they're paying cars, they're paying for uniforms, and then whatever's left is being given to the Haitian people. from here to Haiti.org is not like that.
Awesome. So where can we find you on the daily? I know for the Catholic News Network, tell us what time we can find you, where we can find you so we can hear more about your truth.
And I'm going to say it just for everyone can log on to netny.tv, 7:30 each night we're live. You're also going to be seeing me do a lot more with a book that my company Million Dollar Pen Inc. just published by the wonderful author Carlos Wallace. Yes.
Bells, do you hear those bells? Ding, 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 ding.
I'm so proud to be working with this man. The other 99 Times is going to be out this Friday officially. We need you guys to flood the internet.
Everybody go and buy this
Amazon,
book.
buy the book. I promise the message is just so prolific, and we need it right now.
Yes.
And I am so excited to be part of this project and to work with him and to work with you.
You
McMahon.
as well. Well, we're excited to have you, and we couldn't do this without you. So it's been a blessing, and I love you from the bottom of my heart. Signing out from here from the Houston Improv for All Men on Pause with Miss Liz Fabulous. I'm Robin Betran. Live your truth.
A black woman will hurt your goddamn feelings. This black woman cheating on me and talking shit to me because she done left me. Now I'm trying to put up with the bullshit because I was a little tender bitch. I ain't gonna lie. She cheated on me with this little young ass dude around the corner. Yeah, but she came back because he ain't had no benefits. She realized it was her ass, you know? But I'm in my goddamn feelings. I'm mad as a motherfucker. Because she done cheated with this young ass dude. So I said, I'm gonna go around the corner and talk to this motherfucker. She said, Papa, let me tell you something. That shit is over with, okay? It's me and you. Now you take your old ass around that corner. And now that motherfucker dust your ass up. I'm going home with the women. I said, girl, I need to have involved. You already. I don't feel like fighting.
Robin Betran, live from the Houston Improv. I am here with one of my favorites, Miss Cayenne Nebula, who always tears down the stage, the house. I'm surprised the Improv is always here, again, when we get back on the red carpet. Miss Cayenne, it's so good to see you again. You froed out tonight. I love it.
Girl, I took it from you.
Yes. Every time I see her, she's like, I need a fro. She got one.
And it's blue.
Yes. She taught me. I need to go back. I said, I need to rethink my color. I need to rethink it. All right. I got to keep it. I can't get any color. So tell me a little bit about your piece tonight, that you spoke about this red, beautiful tint that you have in your skin tone. Let's talk about your skin tonight.
Well, basically that piece was developed because where I'm from New Orleans. And after Katrina, we had a lot of people that called us refugees or didn't understand who we really are. Like, we're human just like you. We're Americans just like you. and it was like a separation, and we live in the same country, so why are you calling me a refugee? Right. So it brought on that, and then it brought on a lot of controversy about what race are you, like what are you mixed with, because I'm Native American, I'm African American, and then I have French in me, but it's like, you know, I embrace my African roots even more. Right. So it's like, you know, what do I define with? So I had a problem trying to, you know, put myself into a box that the society wanted me to be in, but I'm like, no. So that's basically where my name Nebula came from too, because it's like, you know, I am everything. I'm creation. I'm all. So don't ask me who I am. I'm Nebula, you know?
I'm everything. You know who I am, and if you don't know, you need to find out who I am.
I'm here with Marie Brown, and she had a very powerful poem. So just kind of let the audience know a little bit about it before I ask you some questions.
Okay, the title of the poem was Sunset. It's a poem that I've been working on for the past 15 years. I finally completed it. It was a very personal poem. It's about forgiveness. And I was just so excited to get it out for the first time. It's totally completed. And it was wonderful.
So you touched on a lot of taboos, especially in the Black community. And so what do you feel are like those barriers, that reason why we can't talk about mental health, the reason why we can't talk about, you know, abuse in the home? What do you think is kind of what's stopping people from having that conversation and doing something about it?
Yes, that poem, like you said, it covers a lot of taboos, especially people of color. Things that's been carried on, that the man of color, oh no, you can't get depressed, or whether you're a male or a female, it's a taboo. So I wanted to write about the poem, basically letting people to know, okay, it's time to let that go. It's time to let that go. Mental health awareness is real, and when we're in trouble, then we need to get professional help.
I am here with Miss Trinity right now. Every time that this woman gets on stage, she has me in tears because as a mother, she's always speaking to her babies, and it feels like I'm on stage talking to my baby. So talk about your piece tonight, and you were conveying this beautiful message to your daughter and what that means for you.
It's kind of funny because being a mom, you really covet your kids, and I never really knew what it felt like to have your heart like walk outside your body. Right. And that's my daughter. Is the only girl, and she's just amazing, and I never forget, and she's gonna hate me for this, the day she lost her virginity. I knew it, and I asked her, and I didn't know where to put it, and for 2 weeks God just let it settle in me, and this piece came out, and so I needed to let her know who she was. Right. It was really important for me to let her know who she is as a person and her royal background, because we are Cherokee, we are Blackfoot, we are kings and queens of our whole tribe, and I needed her to know that because it's so important. If you don't tell your children where they come from, they'll never know where to go. Right. And so that's what that piece was about. And I needed her to know how amazing she was, because if she didn't know it, I knew it, and everybody else sees it. But it's something about a mean-ager. That's what I call them, the mean-agers. They never see it for themselves. So that's what that piece was about.
Robin Beltran here at the Houston Improv. I'm here with Miss Adams Eve. Miss Adams Eve, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fabulous. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So let's talk about this gentleman that escorted you onto the stage and off of the stage.
My husband, he's my warrior. He's my support. Everything I do, he's right there. He doesn't want anybody having hands on Adams Eve. He wants to be right there in the middle of it all, making sure I have everything I need.
That's the type of man we want. They're supporting his woman that's there, obviously giving you lots of love and support whenever you need it, which is so great to see. That is so exciting. Everybody's excitement whenever they saw him get up was so exciting.
They know he dresses me.
He dresses you.
Yes.
So
My
he
mother-in-law made this. Shout out to Queen Amebe Fashions, LA, California. Woo woo.
That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about your inspiration. It sounds like, you know, you have somebody that, like we talked about, who supports you and who's there and who, you know, obviously sees your light shine on stage. Your poem that you did tonight seemed to be the complete contrary to what you represent in your relationship. Where did that inspiration come from that piece?
You never know who you cross paths with. And in my line of work as a poet, I'm a nurse and a teacher. So I meet people from all walks of life. I met a young lady a couple years back who was going through some things, and I don't even know why we started talking, but a conversation sparked, and she saw how happy I was to be with my husband. And she was like, I've never known that. And she began to tell me her story. And talking to me, I told her, I said, you know, one day I'm gonna be able to put your words together and I'm gonna let the world hear it. I'm gonna speak for you, because she felt like she couldn't speak for herself. And I felt responsible with her telling me that, with me being a poetess. And this, I could think of no other forum than Queens of the Mic to share that with women, because there could be someone out there who has not shared their story. And hopefully I've empowered them to speak up, speak out, and to link up with women who are not afraid to speak out so that their voices can be heard.
I'm here with Kia So. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. So tell people a little bit about your poem, if they, if they happen to miss it.
Well, my poem was called "Excuse Me, Sir." It's basically me speaking to the father of the gentleman that treated me unfairly. He was not in his life, so I just wanted to be able to reach out to the audience. So that way, if there's anyone that's there who doesn't have their father in their life, or even someone that's in the audience who have children and not in their life, I wanted to reach out to them so that way they can see the actual lash out that us as women and even men are dealing with when it comes to the fathers not being in their children's life.
It's crazy you say that, because I actually didn't grow up with a father, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I know how I handle things, but let's say, for a person who's getting in there and he's still young and doesn't really know, or she doesn't really know how to handle all those emotions. You have any advice for them?
Yes, I do. The thing is that life goes on. You are your own person, and you are brought to this world for a reason. God brought you into this world. You have a purpose. You have a calling. I didn't have my father in my life. So the thing is that if there's anyone that's out there who doesn't have their father, keep in mind that you have your mom. You have your mother. And even if you don't have parents at all, you have you. And so whatever it is that you feel on the inside, that you feel like you want to give up, you become depressed, just keep on moving. It's going to be hard, but you got to continue to climb that mountain. You may get some scars, but continue to climb, because your victory is at the top.
And you also have a community. I mean, that's, you have uncles and, of course, friends that have, are always impactful in your life. How did you get started with poetry?
I'm actually a soul singer. My music is based from the 70s and the 80s, even though I wasn't born then. But I have an old soul, and I got teased a lot in school. You're so old, and
Like what are we talking? How old are we talking? Like
I'm 27. I'm 27.
Okay, so but as far as 70s, are you talking like? What are you kind
Gaye, Al Green, The Temptations. It's just I just love old school music. Marvin Gaye, which is one of my favorites, and I was actually introduced to poetry as far as me writing music. And when I couldn't find that rhythm, I turned it into a poem, and I was invited to perform for the very first time, which was last year in 2015. Yeah.
Oh, you're still relatively new to the game.
Oh yeah. As a poet, yes.
Robin Bethany here at the Houston Improv with the Soul CEO, Mr. Carlos Wallace, back again.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm just glad to be here, man. This is my favorite show, Queens of the Mic, because the ladies have such great content.
Always. I was just telling a lot of people that every time that the ladies get up here, it's like you learn something. It's like they talk from so many issues, and you get to hear women speak, and it's really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's true. It's like a history lesson mixed with an emotional transformation and just a lyrical butt whooping.
A lyrical, yeah. That's why you guys come here tonight, right?
Right. It is a real educational experience, though. I enjoy it.
So let's talk a little bit about you. You've got a ton of things that have been going on since we've last, been on the red carpet. You're looking good. You're fresh off the plane from New York. Your book just dropped again, The Other 99 Times. Let's talk about the book.
It comes out officially on October the 28th. I'm really excited about it. I need everybody to go out and buy it that day so I can be the #1 seller on Amazon, man. Get it on Amazon. I don't care if you get Kindle, paperback, hardback, I don't care. Just purchase one or the other on the 28th, please.
So make sure you guys go out. One question I do have for you. Your last book was also a New York Times bestseller. It was also on Jay-Z's Tidal. Will your new book be on Tidal?
Yes. The audio, we probably won't have it ready for at least 9 months to a year, because I kind of let the book soak in first and get the feel of the people, because we do a little different stuff, with the audio. It's just not a straight read. And I got some real special guests that's gonna help me with this next one, man. And I'm really excited. A little nervous because I'm working with some real professionals. Like the last one, Mike, kid that grew up in my hometown. It was his first time doing it. And Sugar B, she mastered it. great mentor and friend of mine out in New York, but it was all of our first time. And so this time is like I'm working with real
The big dog.
the big dogs. And there's nothing against those guys because they did an amazing job. Obviously, you know, the book done very, very well. I just want a different sound this time. Like, I used to always wonder, like, why does rappers or singers work with different producers? I was like, man, if the last album was so great, why not work with the same one? And it's like they want a different sound or a different feel the next time. So I kind of understand that. But
Speaking of music, one of the chapters in your book is based on hip hop. Tell us and tell for the viewers at home that don't know anything about your book yet, the premise of your book, but talk about how hip hop ties into that.
Well, that title is The Ignored Influence. And what I talked about in the chapter is how great and the impact that hip hop has been, you know, in the last 20, 30, 40 years. Because whenever you talk about hip hop, all people want to talk about is negativity. They want to talk about drug or how, you know, every woman's a bitch. Can I say that?
Say whatever you want.
You know, and so I wanted to bring the positivity, the attention to the positivity that came from hip hop. For instance, you know, in Jay-Z's book, he talked about when he lived in Brooklyn, he used to think Manhattan was a plane flight away, you know. And, you know, I just kind of talk about how long before I was ever a resident of New York, I envisioned New York just listening to Run DMC and, you know, growing up, LL Cool J, Dana Dane, and just those guys talking about the different streets. So now that I'm there, you know, 50% of my time, and I see these streets, these are the streets that I envisioned when I used to listen to hip hop.
Right.
But it's just so much that have come from that. A whole new generation of millionaires that are affording opportunities for people that otherwise never would have had those same opportunities. And it just kind of helped level the playing field, you know, and I know the underlying hate for hip hop is for that reason.
Right. So make sure you guys get out there. He's got so many things that are happening. I can't even give you a full run through, but make sure you guys go check out the book. It's amazing. I've already read it like 3 times. I've shared it with 100 people. It's amazing. It's life-changing. We were actually talking about it in my home yesterday and how it influenced us even around our home. So make sure you guys check it out. Signing out with Soul Corridas TV with Mr. Carlos Wallace, I'm Robin Beltran. Robin Beltran here from the red carpet at the Houston Improv for the Queens of the Mic Volume 3. I am here with the truth right now. How are you this evening?
I'm fine. How are you, honey?
I'm doing fantastic. If I am a reflection of how you look, then I'm doing great. So I want to talk about something. Obviously, you've had a lot of successes with what you're doing. I want to talk about how you failed tonight. Tonight, you were on stage and you were communicating to us that you were supposed to write something to go along with this Queen theme tonight, but you failed. And you ended up writing something and talking to us about money and about your art and how they don't blend. Give me a little bit more information about that.
I wanted to, you know, you get into different venues or events and you want to write specifically a topic that goes along with it. But I technically didn't fail because I needed to speak on how poetry, the dynamics are changing.
Right.
How the value and the purpose of what we do has turned into the dollar sign.
Right.
We deserve to be paid for our craft. We deserve to do, but it's not just about the money. Poetry for me is my therapy. And my therapy, my ugly, turned into beauty for someone else. It turned into healing for someone else. So while I was ministering to them, I'm also ministering to myself. So I just felt like poetry, it's starting to lose that foundation.
I'm here with Tasha Dennings. So tell us a little bit about your poems for people who didn't get the chance to see it.
I am a Christian poet. So my poem is about being in love with Christ and just falling in love all over again. From the life that I gave over when I decided to surrender my life to Christ. So that's what the poem is pretty much about.
I like how you kind of started off, people didn't really know what you were like, where you were going, and it's like you thought you were talking about a guy or something, and then you started bringing in religious things. Is that kind of like your writing style? Like, is it kind of like you like to give people a little twist and then kind of feeling like an aha moment?
Typically I do, mainly in my books. I write books as well. I have 2 published books, and they always end with a cliffhanger. So I always like to leave my audience wanting more. Not so much in poetry. I think I kind of like to just write. I don't think I have a style when it comes to my poetry.
What are some of your books about? Like, as you said, you mentioned books.
My first book is called Little Black Girl, and it's about a black girl and her journey leaving high school, going into college, and just all these choices and decisions that she made because she didn't know who she was. Like, she had low self-esteem, so it caused her to make a lot of bad choices. The second book is called All the Wrong Choices, which is a continuation of the first book. So I wrote a series of short stories. The last book just came out last month, All the Wrong Choices.
I guess, what are kind of the inspirations behind these books? Are they like personal inspirations or inspirations you got from like some of your friends or family? Like,
I would say that it's a combination of both. Because I did move here from California to go to college, so I was on my own, and I did make a lot of bad choices. So, I used a lot of my own life experiences in writing the books. Yes.
I'm here on the red carpet with Be True. Be True, how you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great. Thank you for asking.
So let's talk about your piece that you did on stage and where that inspiration came from.
Actually, I have a close relative. I'm Muslim, and a lot of people think that Muslims don't go through the same regular day things that other people go through.
Right.
And I actually have a really close relative that was in a domestically abusive relationship, and so I wrote that piece, and she actually still doesn't know that it's about her.
Wow. So has she been able to come out of that situation?
Yeah, it was 20 years, but she has been able to come out of this situation. There are lingering effects. However, she's no longer in the relationship, so
that's awesome. Well, one of the good things to hear, we're on video right now, so if she is watching or going to get a chance to watch, what is something that you want to tell her in the midst of all that's happened to her?
I would like her to know that I truly appreciate the courage that she has given me, because like I said, she is a relative, and it's very hard for women to come out of those situations, and I think it shows a lot of courage for her to have broken away and then moved forward with a smile on her face with such grace. And while there are lingering effects, you would never know that she was ever in an abusive relationship.
Right. Robin Beltran here at the Houston Improv. We are wrapping up with the show. I'm here with
Vaughn Coleman.
On a scale from 1 to 10. 11. We get 11s here.
Oh, yeah.
Who was your favorite?
Niecy.
Niecy killed it. She was really great.
And I like the comedian from, I believe she said she was originally from Chicago.
Yes, Mimi.
Yes,
Simpson.
Mimi. Oh
She's
my gosh,
awesome.
she was great. And of course, my favorite, Houston. I got to represent Houston, the headliner.
Awesome.
I forgot her name.
Don't ask me hard questions. See, we both forgot. Don't worry. Thank you. Are you going to get Carlos's book on Friday? The Other 99 Times?
Of course.
It's an awesome book. I've read it 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's a great book.
I was hoping to win it tonight,
You
but
know
I'm going
what?
to have to go purchase it.
They didn't purchase or grab everybody's cards like they were supposed to.
Okay.
But that's all right.
The winner of his book, but no, I'll order it from Amazon.
Amazon.com, New York Times bestseller, part 2. Thank you. Robin Beltran here in the home of the Soul CEO, Mr. Carlos Wallace. Thank you for having me in your home today.
Well, you wouldn't meet me at Hooters, so we'll do it here.
For all of you that don't know, he loves Hooters. It's his office. He doesn't need one because he's got this beautiful setup here, but I'm glad to be here right now and not in Hooters. So, I want to talk about today, a lot of people, they see the vision of Carlos Wallace in so many ways, whether it be your books, your promos at the Improv, at Lone Star, a ton of different things, your philanthropy work that you do. I kind of want to see what you have going on right now, because we talk about it quite often, about all your titles and roles, but I really want to find out what projects do you have going on right now.
Well, we next week's show is going to be kind of bittersweet. You know, it's going to be the last show for the our monthly shows. We've been doing a Houston All Stars of Comedy for the last 5 years, pretty much every month. And my upcoming schedule is just going to be too demanding to keep doing it. We have documentary coming out, a lot of movie projects, and some more media projects in regards to just short media documentary-esque projects. A trip to Haiti, and then Lone Star is making the book a curriculum. Life's Not Complicated, You Are. So I'll be busy, not just going to one campus this year, but all 12. You know, and then of course, the new book comes out in October. So the other 99 times. So I want to have enough time to be able to properly, you know, tour that book and hopefully get it launched, you know, in the same level as we did Life.
So you talk about all of this being bittersweet, and obviously you have a lot of really great things going on right now. You've been in the running right now as the top comedy promoter in the city of Houston, New York, a lot of different places with what you do. You've had some really phenomenal comedians that have come out that you've been helping, moving along their process and their careers. 5 years. You were telling me, you know, of footage and role that you have of these shows. What made you finally decide it's time for me to move?
You know, people would always ask, how long are you going to do it? And I'd say, God will let me know when it's time. And when you're presented with new opportunities or new things that elevate the vision in what you're trying to do, that's when you know. I couldn't put a date on it and say, hey, this date or this amount of shows. You know, when the next project comes along that says, this is where you're needed, that's where I go. And the question's been asked, well, hey man, can't you just let someone else do the monthly shows? And my answer has been the same. I would rather see it end than see it torn apart, you know.